Hi, welcome back to Box Delights. We're playing Pathfinder adventure card game. Pretty happy with progress so far. We've got Swallowtail Festival closed off. We're down to 4 locations. We're starting round 2 with Valeros. Valeros is a card down because he used his blessing last time, but he's armoured and weaponed up, so I think we're good to explore. Let's see what we get. Oh, it's a good one. It's an ally. Remember, our objective is to try and find the villain and close these locations in order to stop the villain escaping so that we can defeat him. But along the way we may find some good stuff, some boons. And here we have an ally, Mayor Kendra Deverin. And she has a check to acquire of charisma or diplomacy. That's perfect for Valeros. So a quick check on Valeros' card, and you'll see that diplomacy is a skill that Valeros has, and his diplomacy is equal to his charisma plus 2, and his charisma is a d6. That's still not good enough, is it? We've got a plus 2 and a d6, so the maximum we can get is 8, and we need a 10. Well, I think we're going to have to let Mayor Kendra go. It's not too bad. Remember, the dragon, they don't run off. They'll just slink back into the corner. So we spy Mayor Kendra. We're not going to try and attempt to talk her into joining us. Let's let her disappear back into the inn. Well, I feel poor old Valeros isn't really getting much done, but we don't have any blessings. If we had some blessings, sometimes you can discard these to explore again, so I'd be keen to do that, but I think Valeros is pretty much stuck right now, so let's just draw back up. And he grabs himself a nice sword. This one's a lot better than the scimitar. Okay, so let's progress on to Linny. And she does have some options, so let's see what happens. Advance the blessings deck and let's go exploring. Oh, a monster, a goblin commando. Before the encounter, the goblin deals 1 ranged combat damage to you. That's not so good because that means I have to discard a card. Remember, the cards in your deck represent your health, and that includes the cards in your hand. When you take damage, you choose cards to discard. So if you take 1 damage, you choose 1 card and discard it. If you take 2 damage, you would discard 2 cards. But you do get to choose, right? So it's not like it's random, which is 1 saving grace. So I'm gonna discard this one, and yes, they're discarded, not banished or anything like that. They're discarded. So I'm just going to go to my discard pile. And that's pretty good because Cure here allows me to bring cards back from my discard pile. Right? Thematically that makes sense. Remember, your discard pile represents lost health or damage. Cure will bring things back and put it in your deck. Okay, so now we've got to fight this goblin commando, and we don't want to take any more wounds. It's a combat check and it's combat 9. If I roll and I get less than 9, let's say I rolled a 6, because 6 is 3 less than 9, I would take 3 more wounds. So Linny's in a bit of trouble here. Let's see what she can do. Linny has no weapons, so her combat is going to be her strength, a d4. But remember, we can reveal an ally with the animal trait to add 1 d4 to our check. So that's my strength. We'll reveal the dog, who's an animal. That adds a d4. I've got this Amulet of Mighty Fists also. It says reveal this card to add 1 d4 and the magic trait to your strength or melee combat check. We're using strength, remember. You may not play a weapon on the check. Well, we know this already. So we're going to reveal our amulet and get another d4. So average 2, 4, 6. Still not confident with that. Okay, this is a push your luck game. But I think that's pushing it a bit too much. I'm just wondering, do we want to discard the amulet now to change our strength into a D10? Remember, Linny can use her. It's kind of like, I think thematically, she turns into a bear. I like the idea that she transforms into a snow leopard, because there's a picture of a snow leopard here, and I don't think there's a snow leopard ally within the game. So this power she has that says you may discard a card to roll D10 instead of your strength or dexterity. So I could discard that amulet now and kind of take on this snow leopard's strength. Before we do that, we could also use Valeros, who has an ability, or a power rather. It says add 1d4 to another character's combat check at your location. Valeros is at this location with Linny, so sometimes you don't have to be at the same location. So if you're playing things like Blessings, you don't have to be at the same location necessarily, but with Valeros he can kind of step in and offer his sword to help you. So that's another d4. 2, 4, 6, 8. Right, it's looking better, isn't it? And Harsk, he has a couple of long-range weapons. He's proficient with weapons. I know this because it says so on his card. He's proficient with light armour and weapons. This short bow, which I'm not particularly enamoured with, says if you are proficient with weapons, you may discard this card to add 1d4 to a combat check at another location. Okay, so let's do that. Let's discard the short bow. So Harsk here is using his bow, shooting through the window of the rusty dragon and adding another d4. Also, Harsk has this other power which says you may recharge a card to add 1d4 to a combat check at another location. Remember, recharging means I take one of these cards and I put it on the bottom here. But I'm not sure I want to recharge one of these cards. Notice I could have used the Sage Journal when I was attacking the henchman last time. Not that I needed it in the end. You know, the guy's good. I think we're gonna risk it. I mean, it's not always wise to use every power you can. You've got to keep a little bit in your back pocket. And I don't think Linny's going to take on this giant growth, this turning into a bear or a snow leopard, as I like to say. I think 5d4 should give me 9. Should we take a chance? Yeah, let's take a chance. Okay, here we go. I'm looking for 9 of these 5d4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 9. We've just squeezed it. Great job, Linny. Whew. That was cutting it close. Okay, the Goblin Commando is defeated, but being a goblin, remember, attack on Sandpoint says if you defeat a monster with the Goblin trait, roll a d6 on 1. Each character at your location takes 1 fire damage. These combustible goblins are a pain. That one goes back to the box. Let's roll a d6. We're good, it's a 5. It's a 5, okay. Question now is, do we use the dog to explore again? It's tempting because the clock's ticking. We've got 4 locations to go through, and each one of those has got 10 cards. A little bit fewer because we've knocked a couple out. Just not sure Linny is strong enough with just these cards. What do you think, guys? Do we use the dog and explore again? Discard this card to explore your location. I've got a cure and an amulet. Do you know what? I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to push on How many monsters were there in this location? 2. 1 barrier. Let's discard the dog and explore our location. I'm going to suggest, this is a bit too risky and you probably wouldn't want to do this, but you know, what the heck, I want to show you as much of the game as I can and the depth of the play. There we go. Ah! Nasty. It's the henchman. Okay, is that good or bad? Well, it's good that we found a henchman, but it's bad we've got another battle to fight. Maybe the snow leopard is going to surface. We do have this cure. Let's reveal our Amulet of Mighty Fists. Add this card. Reveal this card, add 1d4. So we're up to 1d4 for our strength, 1d4 for the amulet. We have Valeros over there, giving us another 1d4. We're definitely going to... Can we use our cure? No, because we're going to leave our cure. Do I want to discard the amulet now? Let's use Hask. Hask has some bows as an amulet of life. We could recharge a card to add 1d4 to a combat check at another location. I'm going to recharge the amulet of life, I think. Actually, let's recharge the journal. Let's recharge the journal. This only adds to Hask's checks against the henchman or villain. Let's recharge this, and that will give Lily another d4. Okay, so average roll here is 2, 4, 6, 8. We need 8. This is getting tough, isn't it? The problem here is if I do use my kind of giant growth power, discard the amulet, I'm left with just one card. If that goblin explodes, Lily's then lost her cure, she's down to 0 cards. I think I'm going to risk it. I'm now going to discard the Amulet of Mighty Fists and transform into a snow leopard. Oh no, Do I? Yeah. I mean, we only just squeezed 9 off 4 dice last time. Let's do it. So we'll discard the amulets. So let's switch out a d4 for a d10. And we need 8. We're going to struggle to close this location, but that doesn't matter. I think that'll just leave one monster and a barrier and a whole bunch of good stuff. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I think we've got enough now. 8 we're looking for. Easy, easy. 6, 7, 10, 12. Alright, we did it. We defeated the Goblin Raider. This henchman is out of here. If defeated, you may now immediately attempt to close the location. Good stuff, good stuff. We've got a cure left. Might end up curing Linny herself. Okay, can we attempt to close the Rusty Dragon? Or even should we? It says to close, succeed at a Charisma or Diplomacy 6 check. Which is good for Valeros. What about Linny? She has a D8 for her Charisma. I think we should have a crack at this. Let's roll our D8. I'm looking for a 6. Okay, not good odds. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, not too bad. 3 and 8 chance. Oh, yes! Okay, there's our 6. We did it, we did it. The battle with the Goblin Raider has forced the proprietor of the Rusty Dragon to close his doors. On closing, you may recharge an ally from your discard pile. That's pretty good. Okay, so when permanently closed, recharge an ally from your discard pile. So let's go and grab the dog and recharge that. And here's what we lost. So we know we lost these. The ogre was on the bottom. A wand of force missile. Yeah, so a battered chest, a burglar ally, and a force missile spell. Hey, that's pretty good. Although I'm not sure, does she have arcane? No, Lily doesn't have arcane anyway, so yeah, maybe we didn't lose very much. These are all going to go back to the box. Ultimately, I think that was a good decision. I think that ogre was a little bit tough. Okay, so Linny's got a hand size of 5, so let's draw 4 more cards. Another cure, okay. Another spell, Sanctuary. Blessing of the Gods. Oh, this might be something else. The dog, okay, awesome. Alright, Linny's looking good for next time. Let's move on to Hask's turn. Let's head to the cathedral. The grandest building in town, Sandpoint's new cathedral is dedicated to the 6 deities worshipped by the town's founders. So we need some blessings here, which Haas doesn't have, but Linny does. So maybe Haas will explore here, move in Linny and Valeros, and then move on. Let's explore here and see what happens. Okay. It's an ally, a grizzled mercenary. The grizzled mercenary needs a charisma or diplomacy check of 6. The mercenary is pretty good with a 1d8 added to a combat check, or allowing you to explore a game. Hask is not terribly good with allies. He's not the most charismatic of dwarves, with only a d4 and no diplomatic skills at all. So I've got a feeling this mercenary is not going to be terribly impressed with Hask. Nothing here that's going to help us. Needing a 6 here with just a d4 and nothing really. I've got a Blessing of the Gods, but, or rather Linny has. I'm not going to waste that on a mercenary. Let's let it go. Let it go. Sorry. This isn't very good though, is it? Because, sorry, that's discarded, isn't it? Yeah, that's discarded. Or banished, rather. The ally is not impressed. The mercenary has taken one look at Hask and wandered away from the cathedral. We have a guide here. Recharge this card to add 1d10 to your survival check. I don't think that we're going to use that. So let's instead discard this card to explore your location. So the guide is going to help us explore a little more. Let's see what we get. A spell. Oh, that's a nice spell. Charm a person. And it only needs Intelligence Arcane 4. Bury this card to draw 1 random human ally from the box and add it to your hand. Nice. That's a good looking spell. That's a lot better. It's not going to be easy. We've got Intelligence of D6. 1d6. We need a 4, 5 or 6. So 50-50 chance of winning this spell. Again, I'm not going to waste my blessing on it. It's a good one. I'm not going to waste my blessing on it, I don't think. 2d6 to get this charm spell. To grab any random human ally. You might end up with someone really rubbish, mightn't you? Just go with it. 1d6, and we're looking for a 4. Yes, we got it. It's a 6. Well done, Hask. So we get the charm person spell. This is the thing, we've not managed to acquire much good stuff in this game so far, but that's not bad, this charm. Bury this card. Okay. Actually, I see no reason why we shouldn't use this charm straight away. Bury this card to draw one random human ally from the box and add it to your hand. Right, this is going to go back to the box instead of bury. If I was to bury it, there's three types of ways of, or four rather, of getting rid of cards. Discard, you know, goes back here. Recharge goes on the bottom of your draw deck. Banish goes back to the box. Bury, we'll place it under our character card here. And what that means is we can't use it again. So if we manage to get cards back from our discard pile, like when we use Cure, this card, because it's buried down here, it's not in the discard pile. What it means is it's going to be available to us for the next adventure. Okay, so we can keep it in our character's deck, but we can't get it back again while we're playing this scenario. But anyway, it's not buried. It's banished because we don't have the arcane skill. So let's draw one random human ally from the box. And the way I'm going to do this is, I don't want to just pull out all the humans. That might take me some time. Although I think they're all human. Now there's some animals as well. What I'll do instead is just shuffle the whole lot, and then just start drawing. And then if we get a non-human, we'll just ignore it and draw again. Okay, cut. Draw one random human ally. We've got one. It's called Vinder. Banish this card to add a random item from the box to your hand. It's a human shopkeeper. So I think we'll do that already. Let's we'll take Van Vinder, we'll banish him, and then take, what does it say, a random item. So here's our item stack. Let's give this one a shuffle now. Okay, cut one random item, and this we are stuck with. The Wand of Force Missile. Hey, wasn't that the thing that we lost when we closed the inn? I think it was. Okay, Wand of Force Missile. Bury this card to roll 4d4 with the arcane and force traits. Nice. So this wand goes to Hask's hand, and charm is banished. Okay, I think we're done with Hask now. Yeah, we don't have any explorer gains. So let's draw back up to 5 cards and end the round. We get a Blessing of the Gods and a Blessing of the Gods. Okay, looking good for next round, I think. Okay, just before we finish up, Hask does have another power. It says at the end of his turn, you may examine the top card of your location deck. We're definitely going to do that. And let's see what it is. This might determine whether these guys move here or explore somewhere else next time. It is a spell, Invisibility. Discard this card to evade a monster. Discard this card to succeed at your stealth check. If you do not have the arcane skill, banish this card. It's a nice spell, but again, it's one that requires arcane. So it's going to be a one-time use for any of our heroes. Alright, let's move on. Join me next time as we continue Pathfinder adventure card game.